Hello and welcome to this video where we'll see the highlights of Droopys Merson's short career on the track. Well, before we see some of his greatest performances, let's have a quick check on his breeding. And we can see Droopys Merson's one of the best sons of the Australian import Frightful Flash, who of course goes back in his breeding to Eaglehawk Star and Tangaloa, two of the greatest dogs to have ever run in Australia. And he's also beautifully bred on his dam side. Lemon Miss is by Whisper Wishes out of Lemon Bid. Well, let's have a look at one of his early puppy races. Droopys Merson's here in Trap 6 in the Cold Steel Puppy Classic at Nottingham. Led up early by the 5-bitch Emerging Flyer, who of course have won the Group 3 Malcolm Puppy Cup at Walthamstow. Droopys Merson lies handy in second place, but he scorches down the back straight to take a couple of lengths out of Emerging Flyer at the third bend. And when Merson gets his nose in front, nothing comes from behind him. And he stretches away here to beat Emerging Flyer in a very impressive 30-10. Obviously Nick Savva knew then he had something very special in Droopys Merson, and he took him next to Sunderland to contest the Regal Puppy Derby. And here we can see him in Trap 5, and amongst his rivals here is Crack Off in Trap 3, who went on to win the Group 1 Midland Gold Cup, so quality opposition for Droopys Merson. See how he breaks. Not the most proficient of breakers, that was probably his only downfall throughout his career, but he shows tremendous early pace to be up with the leaders at the first bend, and now he'll stretch away down the back straight. Perhaps Sunderland a touch too tight for the dog, and connections were to aim him mainly at big galloping tracks after this. But still, look at the way he pulls away from a good field in 27-32. And that was impressive. But let's have a look at his next run at the Sunderland track. Here he is in Trap 5 again. Well, this time he breaks quite well from Trap 5, and it's quite a level break as they go towards the first bend. His determination and great early pace get into the bend in front of Tracy's Glory, who was the Puppy Oaks finalist at Shelbourne Park that year, and also went on to win the Puppy Derby at Sunderland. But Droopys Merson putting the eventual winner of the competition very much in the shade here as he goes on to win in a tremendous 27-07. Unfortunately, though, his luck in the big races never quite extended to the finals, and he was put away for the winter and came out to contest for Pall Mall. And this was one of his first looks at the Oxford circuit. Here he is in Trap 6. Tracy's Glory is in Trap 5 inside him, and Spring Raider in Trap 3, the very useful sprinty type, was in Trap 3. But Droopys Merson outpaces them all to the bend, and then, as we know by now, as he stretches out down the back straight, he won't be caught. And he goes on to win this one in a pacey 27-16. Really, once Merson gets in front, these races could be classed as a tad boring unless you own the dog, because there's no way any other dogs can get anywhere near him. So entries were made for the Pall Mall, and he went into the first round. And here he got another good draw in Trap 6. Dogs to watch out for here: Tullerboy Cash, of course, a Derby finalist and also a select stakes runner in Trap 1. Lots of early pace for Tullerboy Cash, and Tullerboy Cash gets a good break, but so does Droopys Merson on the outside. And look at how he outpaces this quality field to the bend and just gets round in front. And as I say, from there, there's no catching him. Tullerboy Cash, a game dog, back in second place, but he's going to find that advantage Merson has got is going to be stretched even further by the time Nick Savva's Star gets to the line. And the winning time here, exceptionally fast, 27-07. Unfortunately, Droopys Merson's big race luck deserted him in the Pall Mall as well, but here we can see his biggest triumph. The Blue Riband at Hall Green gave Droopys Merson his first competition success, and here we can see his 4 rounds in the competition. In Trap 6, Droopys Merson takes up a good lead out of the second bend, and one dog that deserves a good mention is Dower Leader. Went on to reach the Greyhound Derby semi-final at Wimbledon, also the Reading Masters, the Essex Vars, the Gold Collar and the Ladbroke Circuit. A very strong running dog, and he probably gave Droopys Merson the biggest shot, but still Merson holds on to win in 2 lengths in 28-93. On now to a second round of the Blue Riband, recently moved to Hall Green, and here he faces Dower Leader again, who's in Trap 1. Leitrim Charm, the eventual winner of the Pall Malls, in Trap 4. Merson in Trap 5. He needs a good break here and didn't get it. Led up by both Leitrim Charm and Dower Leader. Note in trap 1. Merson's in 5, steers a middle to wide course round the first bend and goes wide and handsome down the back straight. Still, Leitrim Charm's got tabs on him, and Dower Leader's close enough, if good enough, but nothing will catch Droopys Merson. On now to improve his first round time, Merson wins this heat in 28.74. On now to semi-finals, and what a hot race this is. Stay for Tony in trap 1 reached the Derby semi-final. Dower Leader reopposes, as does Leitrim Charm. Time and Tide, a prolific open race winner, is in trap 4. Charlie Medarling, a very fast starting bitch, in 5, and Merson's in 6. Well, as expected, Charlie Medarling leads them up, and the rest are in a bit of a line. Watch out here as Merson gets a horrendous bump in trap 6, but recovers remarkably to go into 3rd place down the far side. But still, Charlie Medarling and Stay for Tony in front of him, and Leitrim Charm challenging. But this really is where, if you own Merson, you've got your money's worth. Runs on very strongly, can do it both ends of a race, and catches Charlie Medarling on the line to win by just over a length in 28.81. Well, Droopys Merson was sent off a heavily backed favourite for the Blue Riband final. He occupied trap 5. Stay for Tony in 1, Sinead's Bridge in 2, I Know Billy, the Midland Gold Cup second, in 3, Charlie Medarling in 4, and Farlow Shandy, the Puppy Classic finalist at Nottingham, in 6. Well, Charlie Medarling breaks well and threatens to push Merson wide, but look at that extra effort he puts round that first bend to take up a lead from his high-class field. And down the far side, all the punters knew that they were going to collect. You can hear the cheering here as Droopys Merson goes on to win the Blue Riband in a very fast 28.53. No danger, just a case of how far once Droopys Merson gets his head in front. At last, big race success for Droopys Merson, his trainer Nick Savva, and owners Steve Charlesworth, Kevin Wilde, and Nathan and Terry Corden. All very proud there at Hall Green. Well, Droopys Merson's sights were now set on the Scottish Derby at Shawfield over 480 metres, and here we can see him in trap 6. And the dog leading in trap 3 is Waft Serenade, the eventual runner-up in the Scottish Derby to Chart King. Droopys Merson, though, in trap 6 takes a wide course down the back straight, but begins to open up now, and he'll go on to win this race in 29.95. On the same night, Chart King won his race in 30.28. So a big difference in times there between Merson and Chart King. An impressive display by Droopys Merson. On now to his next run round Shawfield, and here Merson takes on some great opponents in Springtime. The Irish Derby winner and English Oaks winner to be, she's in trap 5, and some very speedy dogs, I Know Billy and Droopy Zidane inside him. And you can see Merson doesn't get the best of breaks, and Springtime has led him into the corner by a couple of lengths. Pushed slightly wide there by I Know Billy. Droopys Merson is down by half a dozen lengths on Springtime. We know the quality of that bitch. What can Merson do now? We're down the back straight, enjoying the big wide gallop that Shawfield offers. Merson's hunting down Springtime, and will he get there before the line? Of course he does. Springtime's a great bitch, but Droopys Merson is a very strong dog. And on that night, Droopys Merson won in 29.40, a time 2 lengths quicker than Chart King. Where history tells us that Chart King went on to win the Scottish Derby, so Droopys Merson tried for revenge in the English version. And here he is in the trial stakes over the Wimbledon 480-metre trip, and what a field opposed him. Lots of sprinty type dogs, Laura Exile in 1, Spring Raider in 2, and I'm OK in trap 6. But look at Merson, he matches them all for early pace at the first bend, and then takes that all-important lead and goes away. There's no chance of them catching him. What are the stronger dogs behind? Pure Patches, he reached the English Derby final. He's in trap 4 but getting nowhere. And CK Linda Mullins' game old performer, he's got no chance of making any inroads into Droopys Merson's lead. So there he goes and wins, not at that line, cameraman, that line. He pulls away even further from I'm OK and wins in 28.69. On now to the Derby proper. Here we can see in his heat in trap 3. Droopys Merson gets a great break, slightly crossed there by the dog in 4, Berkeley Square, and goes to the line along with the Royal Rebel, who takes an awful tumble at the first bend. But the impressive thing about this performance was that it was the joint fastest sectional of the whole of the Derby first round for Droopys Merson. He really did have great early pace, and when he broke from the boxes, he was really allowed to show it. Here he goes, he wins his first round Derby heat in 28.87 on sloppy going at Wimbledon. Now established as one of the favourites for the title, he lines up in the second round. And what a challenge he has on here. In trap 1, the Joe McKenna trained Deerfield Sunset, one of the dogs battling for favouritism in the Derby this year. Merson's in 4, gets a good break, as does Sunset on the rails. Unfortunately, this is where Droopys Merson's Derby was to end. Badly bashed there, lost all footing and drops back to last place. But obviously all may not be lost. The first 3 qualify for the next round. Look how Droopys Merson battles on gamely to try and get his head in front for that all-important third qualifying spot. Deerfield Sunset had flown, but all the eyes in the crowds were on trap 4, Droopys Merson. Could he get up and qualify? No, he just failed, and a blanket finish for the final qualifying position. That unfortunately summed up Droopys Merson's career. His luck just let him down in the big races.